Police union POPCRU says the latest crime stats points to capacity issues within the police force. In a statement, the union says this raises questions about the channeling of resources to police stations to ensure that they're able to serve communities. Spokesperson Richard Mamabolo joins us for a discussion. Richard, appreciate your time this afternoon. Now, the recent statistics show a decrease in the overall murder rate, but there's also a significant increase in the number of women that have been killed. What are your thoughts on this, concerning this trend, and how should the enforcement address the issue?
Good afternoon to you and the viewers. Look, I think whether there are increases or decreases, I think when you compare the crime statistics over the years, they have shown not to be significant because the increases would be around 3% or, decreases around that same figure as well. So that then definitely shows that there isn't much change being done. Ideally, according to us, the reason why we moved crime statistics from a yearly basis to a quarterly basis was to ensure that they provide police or rather the law enforcement officials with relevant information so that they can then channel their resources towards actually closing in on the gaps that would have otherwise occurred. And I think since there has been that move to quarterly crime statistics, there has not been much change. Look, for example, the most recent example would be Inanda. It has been considered one of the one of the most dangerous areas to live in over the past 2 to 3 years. And yet, on a year-to-year or on a quarterly basis, the statistics still remain. There hasn't been much changes. So in dealing with some of these challenges, we think we need to obviously be broader in terms of how we address them. For example, you've got one police station in Inanda, which is serving a community of around 158,000 people. So if we are ready to make any changes, we think that we need to obviously look beyond just recording the crime statistics, but look into what are the socio-economic factors that need to be improved in such areas.
Now, 33 police officers have been murdered during this period. This must be a cause of concern for you.
That is quite a cause of concern, and similarly, it's been quite a concern for quite some time now. On a year-to-year basis, the minister has been acclaimed for actually attending funerals and addressing memorial services, and we have, of course, stated that we need to obviously have a plan within the SAPS which will look into how we deal with police killings, and that is, of course, something we've taken up even with the previous National Police Commissioner, and up to so far there has not been a plan. In fact, the only thing that we get are just statistics. We think that we obviously need to look into the underlying challenges that many of our police officers face. I think this also feeds into the trends that we've been seeing in the past where police stations are attacked. But in the main, the reasons behind this, we believe, are due to the fact that police officers work in smaller groups due to understaffing, but as well as the fact that the criminals have become brazen in that they are seeking to actually take their firearms to further perpetuate criminal activities. So these are some of the challenges that we think definitely need to be addressed. In fact, in the coming week, our union will be having a policing in our way. We will obviously be looking into the causal factors behind these challenges and hopefully come up with clear decisions and solutions around how we can jointly fight this scourge.
Now, Richard, when you look at the reasons, or some of the reasons, if you're aware of them, of why police officers die in the line of duty, are you privy to some of the reasons? And how much of this is a result of the police themselves not having the right skill set to protect themselves?
That is one of the factors, but of course I think one of the other reasons that we have considered is the fact that police work in smaller groups, and of course the fact that some of them are targeted due to the cases that they are investigating. So there are a variety of challenges or issues that lead to these attacks, and of course for that reason we would obviously want to have our police officers, especially at any given time, working in larger groups, but unfortunately due to the challenges that we've been facing around understaffing within the SAPS, this has led to some of these conditions. I mean, just last year we were celebrating that there has been a deployment of over 10,000 recruitment of 10,000 police officers. But at the same time, you had about 6,000 police officers leaving the service due to attrition, due to deaths, due to early retirements, and that therefore meant that the real increase would have been around 3,000 police officers. So that as well does not augur well with the kind of gaps that we would like to close that relates to the ratio between the police and communities.
Now, coming back to the issue around the statistics, they indicate that guns remain the weapon of choice for committing crimes. How does POPCRU view the role of firearm control and regulation in curbing these crimes?
Yeah, look, I think that's one of the things. And in fact, we're looking into what you had raised earlier on about the reasons why police are killed is duly because of that. And we think that there needs to be stringent further measures towards ensuring that illegal firearms are taken out of the streets. And of course, I think that is something which cannot be done just by creating platforms once in a while, but we obviously need to ensure as well that we work closely with communities and all other stakeholders in dealing with such a challenge. Otherwise, it's a challenge that has been there, and of course, it looks as if it will be there for the foreseeable future.
Now, that staggering number of 293 children murdered during the quarter, child safety obviously is a critical concern. How can law enforcement agencies work alongside other sectors of society to ensure the protection of children and obviously create safer communities?
One of the measures that we have taken as the union, because we're not just standing idly when looking at all these events expressing themselves out, we have obviously worked with Safer South Africa Foundation, which obviously targets normally high schools and primary schools, wherein, of course, education and obviously awareness projects are communicated to all these young people so that there is general awareness about all these challenges. And we hope that communities can therefore play a bigger role in this regard so that every member of the community becomes part of fighting this case, especially against young children.
Police and Prison Civil Rights Union spokesperson Richard Mamabolo, appreciate your time unpacking those crime stats for us.